the Rikishi Fatu Off the Top podcast. Let's go. Rikishi Fatu, all y'all ready? We the ones. Keep it locked on the Rikishi Fatu podcast. Off the top. We gon' talk about everything wrestling, everything hip hop. Keep it locked. It's time to smarten up.
Yo, Big Kish, good to see you as always.
Hey, what's happening, my man? It's good to see you, you know? Another episode.
Yes, sir. Right off the bat, I have to apologize too. I have to apologize for almost taking you out over here by the ringside. And, I know you're still a few weeks out from being 100%. I do apologize.
Smarten up. Jesus, smarten up. I mean, the first handshake, he's going to give me hugs.
I'm so sorry, Big Kish. I get excited to see you. What can I say?
Thanks for the receipt.
Yeah. Big Kish, there's an incident that just happened out there. It's on the interwebs right now, and you'd be the person to talk to about this right off the gate. I got to ask you, last Saturday, Nixon Newell and Miranda Alize, I guess how you say the last name, not sure, don't quote me on that. They both walked out of AEW Collision because they were told to lose their match against TJ, which is the other team, in just 3 minutes. So basically, this tag team, female tag team,
it's like unprofessional.
They were given a job, 3 minutes, and they discussed and they said politely, "Thank you, but no thank you. Give that to somebody else." And then before you speak, there was somebody who kind of already commented on this situation. Somebody you might know, Taya Valkyrie. She read the news and sent this message to Nixon and Miranda. At the end of the day, this is a business. It is our job. It doesn't matter if you get 1 minute or 45. You make every second in front of those fans and on TV count. It is an honor and a privilege to be part of that show. I've been doing this for 15 years, and I've been in every position, good, bad, champ, enhancement, every single aspect of the show. Small or big is important. Make it count. What are your thoughts on that, Big Kish?
That's a great answer. That's a great answer from a person that gets it. You understand? I don't know too much about these two young kids that pretty much walked out and kind of f***ed up the whole writing of that segment. But it's not a good thing because now you're stained in the industry. Not only from AEW but throughout all the promoters. I know they might as well start trying to set up bookings on the independent circuit. And that's going to probably, I'm sure that's going to cause a problem, for them as far as with promoters, I mean, if promoters, you can't trust you to be able to write you in on a program, well, then why write you in the first place? So I don't know where these kids have been trained or, who's been in their ear or, at the end of the day, it's their choice. And, again, perfect what's her name?
Taya. Taya Valkyrie.
My apologies. But perfect of what she said. This is a business. Whether you go over, whether you go under, you know what I mean, or whether you're given an opportunity or whether not, you already know that you're coming to a company and you're the talent. You can talk about it, but don't like 3 minutes before you go out. That's just unprofessional. So, at the end of the day, let their mistakes for others that are out there that to understand how this wrestling business, sports entertainment work. It works as such. So that's my take on that.
So looking back on your career, did that ever happen to you? Like, let's say at a WrestleMania, they say, Big Kish, you got 8. And then a few minutes later, an hour or two after that, they say, Kish, you got 5.
100%.
That's happened a lot?
100%. But I didn't walk out.
Of course.
You know what I mean? I was trained to where, hey, we understand what it is. And this is the part of how important it is to be trained correctly. You know what I mean? Because we get it. At any given time, if you know yourself on the card, you're just either the first, second, third, middle card, or whatever the case it may be. Number one, you should be happy you're even a part of that card, right? Number two, it's not about you on that card. It's building the main event, set the pace for the main event. So who knows what the main event, they probably just had their meeting, I don't know, maybe 1 hour before the show starts. Maybe each talent or one of the talent that's in the match, maybe, might not be feeling some type of way as far as health-wise. So guess what? they adapt. We're gonna give you more time here, blah blah blah. So we go there, and then they come down the roster, and then they cut certain times on certain matches. Not to say your match is not important, but we just need time for the main event. And so if you get it, you understand, you have no problem. If you don't understand and you just, boo-hoo about this and that because you don't see the big picture, well, then shame on you. Then, you need to be, to be able to sit in the corner and evaluate, what your position in and understand how this business works.
Can you remember a time when this happened backstage, just anywhere, doesn't matter where you were at, and somebody got boo-boo face and they got they took it wrong and they maybe just had a bad attitude about it?
Well, you know what? You see it, but they don't say it. You can tell it in their actions that are out there. You know what I mean? I'm not pinpointing anybody because I've seen it so much. And then the first thought in our mind, being in the dynasty together because I was there with my family. And, the first thought in my mind is that, damn, these poor dudes that, they don't get it. You know what I mean? It ain't about you, man. It's about the show. It's about the match. You know what I mean? So, you can tell that when they go out there, they're not performing to the top level. It's because in their mind, well, if I'm not being featured this or I'm not going over here and I'm not this and that, why should I go out there and give my best? So at the end of the day, it's your, are you a company guy? Because for me, the only real damn thing, whether I win or lose, only real thing, and I'll always stand on that, is that paycheck every week. Because at the end of the day, it's important, my choice that I make, can affect my family. I can be living good, and then next thing you know, boom, hey, here's your notice. We don't need you no more because you decide to hold us up in 3 minutes. And now that just fucked up everything. Goodbye. So now where are you going to go? Where are you going to go to kind of, to hold down that payment of that, Cadillac Escalade? Where are you going to go to hold down that payment of 5-bedroom because you just splurged and you can't help but just to show people what you got? Fly low. If you fly low, you're going to last. The less people know about you, the better it is.
So in your opinion, do you think these girls, do you think they shot themselves in the foot with doing this move? Do you think, because it wasn't really the smartest thing to do, I don't think.
No, I mean, yes. It wasn't the smartest thing that they should have done. You know what I mean? I mean, at the end of the day, let me tell you something about professional wrestling. And zoom in when I'm saying this to all the talent that's out there. Everyone, and I mean everyone, is replaceable in this industry.
Wow, that's true. The wheel turns.
Think about it, right? Just think about it.
I mean, yeah.
Sooner or later, we got to find a new John Cena.
And then how do you go to WWE with that kind of reputation?
You don't,
right?
You
You go right back to where it all started.
Hey, you back out on the outlaw scene.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And back out in the Cowboys out there. Cowboys and Indians. That's what we doing out there. And then, as they go out there, they either they learn or hey, they're gonna be marked, man. You can imagine girls that promoters probably booked them against those girls. Man, if those girls ain't ready for that, man, there's a thing, we can work or we can shoot. And you can imagine if those independent, because they're starving, they're hungry, right? And then you got girls like this that come in just because they were on AEW or WWE or TV, doesn't mean you're a superstar. There is a thing that's called you are an enhancement talent, right? The superstars that the company's putting money behind, those are the marquee superstars. But for you, let's not get this twisted. Understand, know your role, that you are just an enhancement talent for those that are there that they want to push certain markets. But if you play your cards right, you too one day can be that superstar as the wheel turns. Now they check off, they get it, they check off. They're good girls, they check off. They never give any problems, they check off. They're never late, they check off everything above. Check, 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 check. And then guess what? When you check all that out, you're going to get the real check, and that's the bag.
Yes, sir, the coupe. Speaking of that, Big Kish, I've always wanted to ask. So from the indie scene, people come up, but this is based off what you just mentioned. You're on the indie scene and you get a shot with AEW as enhancement talent. That should your fee skyrocket or should it stay about the same? What do you think? Because certain wrestlers on the indie scene they do an enhancement match at AEW and then their fee kind of went up. What do you think?
Well, you know what? Good for them for trying.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But don't work a worker. Right? I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Shame on the promoter if you feel that.
Right.
All right, I just seen you on AEW, but what was it, 30 seconds?
Mm-hmm.
What, you went in there, you got power bomb 1, 2, 3?
Yeah.
And just because does that name bring value to my flyer that you're working on tonight? Right? All 50 people that's here. You know what I mean? So check your ego. I understand the business, man. The wheel turns if you were lucky enough to get called up. Well, number one, you got your foot in the door. Now you want to kind of, continue to get that foot in the door and then let them get to know you as a talent and as a person. But yeah, you don't come out and get your fee. If your fee was $5, well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you $7. That's the way I look at it.
There it is right there. We're going to talk about some hip-hop and some wrestling at the same time. Get a little two-for-one action here. First of all, have you ever heard of the rapper Westside Gunn?
Yes, I believe I do. I think it's Buffalo. Is this cat from Buffalo? I believe it is. Ain't that right?
Is he from Buffalo?
Yeah, he's from Buffalo.
Okay, so I'm not too familiar with him, but I have heard of his because he's also a promoter as well. He runs Fourth Rope Wrestling. I'm not sure where they're out of, I guess, but I don't know. We'll figure that out. But he is making news because on top of being a rapper, wrestling promoter, a very talented guy, he's also a huge WWE fan.
Yeah.
And in his songs, I guess, he drops names of a lot of wrestlers. So he went to this past Monday Night Raw. Not sure where it was at, but he was there. And I think the first match went on, and something happened with human security, and he got kicked out. And this is somebody who spent over like $5,000 in travel, hotel, whatnot, and of course the price of admission for the ticket. And within minutes of the first match, he gets kicked out. And apparently there's no real stories of why he got kicked out. The only thing that he had been quoted on saying is that people get over the years they've been sitting people next to him and they treat him like nobody. Basically, don't quote me quoting him, but there's no real clear answer as to why he got kicked out. But my question to you is: over the years, I'm sure you've been in all the companies. You've been around celebrities in wrestling. That's what they do. It goes together like hand in glove. Can you think of a time where a celebrity appearance didn't necessarily work out? For the company or for yourself?
No, man. Honestly, I mean, my day was back. I mean, the biggest guy I probably met celebrity and I was a big fan of was Chuck Norris.
Whoa.
I'm a big fan of Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
And when I see Chuck Norris, that's you remember that cave scene?
Of course.
When that iconic, him and Bruce Lee going back and forth in the Roman Coliseum, all right? And so when I seen him, he actually came in and, he was doing a spot with Yokozuna, and I was a huge fan. And boy, he was so easy. He was so easy to work with. I mean, who else? Snoop Dogg came through. One of the iconic rappers in the business, right? And I think that, because Snoop was just high to the sky, everything was just smiles and stuff, and it was cool like that, you know what I mean? So I really don't, I don't know what the deal is. I'm a fan of who's there that got kicked out, and his music to me, that's why I remember he's from Buffalo.
Okay.
Right, Westcott, right? And he's kind of like an OG in the industry, right? And so for whatever reason, it's weird to me that he would pay $5,000 to come to the show, and knowing that, WWE's gonna, I'm assume, highlight him sitting into the arena like they do all celebrities. So I don't understand. How does a person that come through? It's not about the money. It might have been something that either he done or he was upset. According to what we hear about, sitting next to people and stuff. I mean, there could have been, hell, if it was like that, then he should have bought, 10,000 worth of seats so nobody be around, or just get with the company. I don't see that. WWE not accommodating some celebrities like that.
Especially he has a huge following, and he is bringing that demographic that they want. They want the youth. They want the younger kids and the cool kids, if you will, to watch. And he brought that, and he mentioned that he made wrestling cool to people who thought it wasn't cool. And he goes, most people view it, as of course
he made it.
That's what he was saying.
Well, okay.
Basically saying he acted as the ambassador, the in-between man between wrestling and the youth of today.
You're not stirring up, are you?
No.
Because as you're saying that, my blood pressure is going high.
I swear to God.
I just want to reach out and smarten, those up.
Man,
like how this stuff works. You know what I mean? Like, WWE is just too strong of a power. Too strong of a power. Do you really think they need any celebrities' help to get out there to, you know what I mean? Come on. But at the end of the day, I know when we was there, I appreciated when celebrities came to watch us.
Yeah.
I appreciated, whenever I would see, their family in the back, the kids, you see that they're fans and stuff. So I'd appreciate, I always enjoyed going over there and kind of break bread with them and, not really kind of spurred down, hey, I'm a big fan of you.
Right.
But, and to be able to meet and greet, the kids and stuff, their family. So it's a beautiful thing. And this is the first time I actually hear about any celebrity that comes to, our WWE event and gets evicted.
Which leads me to think, what happened? Something really bad had to happen for you to get kicked out of a wrestling show.
$5,000 worth?
Yeah, something really bad. So that's why we don't know. I mean, you can't... put all your eggs in one basket. We don't know what happened, but that's according to him, he was upset that he's been treated a certain way when he's such a huge fan and brings all this to the table. But anywho, I was just curious because it's been so many celebrities with your time in WWE and all the other companies, and I was just wondering. Well,
I mean, the best way to find out, obviously, if the fans are watching our EP right now, go ahead and comment below. I mean, help us out, comment below and so we can comment back on the next EP about, the true facts of what happened. Because right now, it's kind of just speculation. So, I'm going to give you my fair, thoughts on it. Not bashing WWE, not bashing, the Uso West, none of that. But yeah, at the end of the day, if you want to know something, fans will tell you. They'll definitely... I had my share, you know what I mean?
Have you?
So, yes, of course, Of course that, Anything talking about the thong, was the thong clean? Was the thong who you didn't like? And, who you farted, all that stuff. Who did you fart on? Yeah. Pretty much everybody. Anybody that I didn't like. There you go.
Big Kish, we're switching gears to your son Solo Sikoa and the MFTs. Now we haven't had to talk. We haven't talked about this since it's gone down. But the MFTs have had a huge makeover. So now that's Solo Sikoa, of course, and the Tonga brothers. So all of them are donning new face paint, which, in my opinion, looks badass. I think it looks really cool. And of course, Solo standing out as the leader, of course. I think it looks really strong. The marketing is awesome. I think it would make a really great action figure. In your opinion so far, what do you think about the difference between then and now with the MFTs?
I kind of like the reinventing look.
Right.
You know what I mean? The look that, they had before, it was good to be able to plant the seed. Mm-hmm. And now to see this faction grow. From a fan standpoint, we always like when we see something new. You know what I mean? So, for them it just tells me they're putting a lot of thought, as a group into this faction. I believe these the Tongan brothers, this was their paint back when they were in Japan.
Yeah, they brought it back, and a lot of people liked it.
Yeah, and
I think it looks really great.
It's a cool look.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so, for them to reinvent a look, now I think it's a plus for everybody.
And I think it also it gave just a little bit of extra to what Jeff Cobb brings too, because JC Mateo. And I think as a whole, it looks really great. It looks like, these are Solo Sikoa's guys. And it looks really good marketing-wise. We also have gotten to see the return of Tama Tonga. Now, of course, Tama Tonga was gone for a really long time. It felt like almost a year he was gone. What are your thoughts on the return of Tama Tonga? He looks like he's put on some really good size.
He looks good.
Yeah, right?
It's amazing when you get some rest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have to get up early. You don't have your home like on a normal scheduling. Getting a lot of therapy, getting a lot of, chiropractor, just getting recharged. I mean, it does a lot for a body and the mind and the soul. And so we can all see that, when he came back, he looks amazing. He looks like, he's well tuned up, right? And so we can see that when he first came back and did his debut with the whole crew. And so he looks good, man. And, good luck to him. And hopefully he kind of stay away from injuries. Normally, when we see somebody gone, that long from anything in sports entertainment, in the wrestling business, you can see it. We all see it all the time. We read it. They write you out the story, and then next thing you know, they take some time off because of a serious injury. And that's how, serious like this, like I like to say, this ring, like, people assume it's soft like a bed. No, that's a 3/4 plywood, man, with steel up underneath that. And you can imagine, these cats bounce 200 days out the year, and going that type of speed, oh no, man, you never see Kishi like that. I'll be like, slow it down, baby. So I'm gonna send you off, Kishi. No, we reverse. You gonna run the ropes. I'll be here. I'll be right here when you get back. Oh, geez,
Oh, man.
But welcome back, Tama Tonga.
And his brother, of course, Tala Tonga.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Tala Tonga?
He's come again. Look at everybody, the whole crew.
Yeah.
He comes back too. Everybody look recharged and refreshed. And I'm so happy, like, they didn't come back without without the same look, right? They came back with the face paint. So now that just takes it to another level. You know what I mean? Like, oh, shit about ready to happen now with this group. And you can imagine when you see that face added up on a billboard, that look right there with Solo Sikoa in the middle and the whole, you got his whole crew.
Yeah.
That sucker pop out like, some gangster. You know what
absolutely.
I mean?
It looks really good. Reminds me of that first SummerSlam poster, I think, with all the boys in the car together. It's just an awesome photo. I would love, honestly, and I'm not being biased, maybe I am, call me kooky, call me wacky, but I would really like to see Solo and the MFTs, of course, eventually go up against the OG bloodline. We're talking Roman, Jay, Jimmy, and of course Jacob when he's back. And then who else would there be? I don't know, probably Sammy. Either way, I think that'd be a really good deal there. But let me ask, we talked a little bit about Solo Sikoa really quick. Are you looking forward, because it's going to happen, it's definitely going to happen, it's coming. Are you looking forward to his babyface turn? Because he is having, a lot of his clips go viral that aren't on the show. And there's this one recent clip that just happened of him dapping it up with a freaking Halloween prop. And I tell you this, that was more entertaining than half the stuff I'm watching on television, and it's him just just doing his entrance, and he just goes and works with a prop, and he made it hilarious. And I think people
he can make a prop look like a superstar, right?
Yeah, absolutely. He did. He put it over so well, and it was hilarious. So my question to you is, do we keep him the leader? Because I could say what I think eventually is going to happen, how we're going to get there. But do you think he should continue as the leader of the MFTs, or does he go solo? Literally, does he go solo? And he have some kind of a babyface, run, because he is hilarious. And you know what they say? Funny means money. What do you say?
I think the tap on that, the videos that the world sees, that's really Solo. You know what I mean? And it's so nice to see him just kind of cut loose and just be himself. Because he's really that kid like that. You know what I mean? Just down to earth, funny. I mean, you guys seen that one video that he was on a plane and he got up and helped a lady put up. Like, behind the scenes of all that, what you see, this vicious, evil leader out there of MFTs. But when you see the back end of it, all these, these memes and these little videos on TikTok, that's him. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, I kind of do see that. And I would only see that somewhere to make this thing here count. If somebody were to come through, you got the MFTs, and it would have to be somebody at a big caliber. I mean, just, that person. I don't know. It could be maybe one of Seth Rollins, maybe one of what's his name, that's over there at AEW, that used to be with
John Moxley.
John Moxley. Picture these guys come through. People think Solo hired these guys here. Now you got personal vibes against the tribal chief, right? So you got personal vibe against the tribal chief. These two here got that personal drama going on with Roman, and then, of course, the bloodline with Solo and MFT. But during the time when it comes, boom, MFT turns on Solo.
Right.
MFT turns on Solo. Solo gets up, boom, boom. Out of nowhere, here comes Roman. Here comes the bloodline. Here comes the OG bloodline. And then I kind of see who comes in place for them would be the wise man there. And then there'll probably just be one more piece missing for the bloodline. And I'll leave that up to y'all. Drop bombs on the moose.
So, of course, it is Veterans Day this week, Big Kish.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the
Thank you.
vets out there for your service, for all you people listening and watching. If you serve, man, we really, really appreciate you and your service, and big shout out and much love to you.
Absolutely. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for giving us the freedom to be able to do, what we do here and live a free life out here in the United States. So, take care of yourself. Enjoy your time at home. Enjoy your time with your family. And again, love and respect. Thank you.
Speaking of veterans, Big Kish, let's think back to some of the military gimmicks out there. And I want to know which one was your favorite. Do you have a favorite military gimmick? Because you've been all over. You've probably seen military gimmicks didn't make the national spotlight like a Sergeant Slaughter. First of all, who is your favorite military gimmick in the pro wrestling business of all time?
Military. Iron Sheik.
Of course, right?
I ain't never seen a military person like just high all the time. High all the time, just, grab his beers and put it inside the hotel garbage can, put some ice in there, and then take off to go to work and come back and have a nice cold beer from the garbage can. Yeah.
Do you have a specific Sheiky Baby story?
Oh my goodness, Sheiky Baby. There's so many stories with it. The one that sticks out to me, man, is like, number one, this guy would never spend a lot of money on hotels. I mean, if you know about the Knights Inn Hotel, that's worse than Motel 6. Worse than Motel 8. And so we would always pull up to find these type of hotels to be able to pull the car up so we can have our car right in front of the room. And so, he'd have his own room. I can hear, those cheap hotels, you can pretty much hear in between the room from the sheetrock, you know what I mean? You might as well call it just a sheet, because you can hear everything. You can hear him, oh, Baba, oh. And I can imagine while he's doing that, he's just twisting that mustache he has. Oh, Baba, has a baby oil. Gotta have baby oil, man. He'll sit there and shave. He's probably one of the cleanest groomed guy I've ever seen, because he just takes his time. He loves being in his wrestling trunks, and then all clothes off, has his wrestling trunks on, and he just sits there, boom, just shave, and just, beautiful, and slapping his chest left and right. And then you can hear him outside, like, you would think he's sleeping, but all of a sudden you hear like 7 in the morning. He's outside, and he's outside doing squats.
Wow.
Hindu squats. Then those clubs that he works out with, right? So I'd never seen him go to a gym. The only thing I seen that, Shiki Baby was just faithful in doing his workouts, his private workouts like that. But he's doing the workout, got the clubs right here, got a cold can of beer, maybe 1 or 2, right? You do a set, and Baba, delicious. And he just twisting that. I mean, he was just in another, Us was in another world, man. You know what I mean? And I love how organic he was. You know what I mean? She did chic. He taught me to be able to, be proud of who you are, be proud of, the culture.
Mm-hmm.
He was so close to us and, my uncles and so forth. And, when we got a chance to travel together, I embraced it. I love that I was given the opportunity, the memories, to be able to, this is a guy that was part of setting off WrestleMania.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Against Hulk Hogan, one of the biggest rivalries ever. And then, here I am traveling with this guy when I used to watch him as a little kid. You know what I mean? And he never bullied me. He never was ever mean to me. He would always teach me, especially when I turned into the Sultan. He taught me how to, wanted to teach me about the culture, the certain moves, the camel clutch, the certain food. I never had Mediterranean food before, Middle Eastern, Iranian food, until I got with Sheik. Man, it was the best freaking lamb and rice I've ever eaten, man. And then he would tell me, how they eat. They would bring it, and I forgot what that was called, but you would eat with your hands. Eat with your hands and grab the rice, Of course, I would always look at his fingers, make sure his fingers are clean and but again, what was I thinking? Because he's one of the cleanest cats.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man, Shiki Baby was, he was one of the best and the realest of the real in this industry, man. If you got a chance to, embrace his, his presence, his company, you know what I'm talking about then.
Who wins in a smokeout, Shiki Baby or The Godfather?
I'd have to go, that's got to be, man. Well, I don't know. Godfather just goes straight indica and all that, and then he goes with the good stuff, but Shiki will mix a little bit of hashish in it and will still keep up nonstop smoking. So I think with the mixture, what he got with the hashish added on, I think if it was just straight indica, I'd have to go Godfather.
Wow.
But because Sheik add a little bit of that hashish in there, you got hashish and then some good weed? Come on now. Yeah, it is. You know what I'm saying? So my pick, I'd have to go, much love Godfather, my brother, but I'd have to go with Shiki Baby.
Yes, sir. There it is. I got 2 more questions for you, Big Kish. Any memories of, because you've done quite a few shows for the troops.
Yeah.
Any memories that stand out?
Well, it's always, when we first went out there to Victory Camp, this was 7 days after they caught Saddam Hussein in Iran.
I remember the story, yeah.
We had the first show in Baghdad. Mm-hmm. And, my story was, to be able to, fellowship with a lot of the servicemen and women that were out there, their living conditions. And, we got a chance to, to break bread on, some meals and, sit at the table with them and to kind of hear their stories and so forth. And, it was a lesson learned for me to know how good we have it out here and how dangerous it is for them that's out there giving us this life of what we have here. And so, I was happy that, we kind of broke bread out there and, playing some basketball together, just cutting loose. We turned the desert, how they turned the desert, and somewhat similar, as close as home as it possibly can be. You know what I mean? I walk into this other tent, damn, they had Christmas lights in it, you know what I mean? And, I was waiting for somebody some smoke or something come up, but they're all just chilling in there, and someone's playing guitars and stuff. And so I met up with a couple island Samoan Usos out there. And, in Samoa, a lot of them, they do ROTC. And from ROTC, they get drafted, they look forward to coming in to serve for the service of, in the Army or the Navy or whatever, And then, so we met some there, in Baghdad. And it was definitely an experience to be able to be able to fellowship with, some of my people that are out there. And I was just like, hey, man, you guys be safe, and say, hey, with a smile, they cocked that, what is that machine gun? They cocked that, we always gonna be all right. You know what I mean? And so at that time, I felt safe, real safe.
Real
you
quick.
Know what I mean? But it was weird because I could still hear like bombs and stuff. You know what I mean? Because we're in Baghdad.
Yeah.
And I get, we having a normal conversation, but you can hear boom, boom. And then, we're, all the wrestlers, we're like, is it time for us to powder? I said, nah, we good. Like they kind of knew which section was, that was happening and so forth. So, but yeah, it was definitely an experience, to be able to be on the first tour ever that WWE ever did something, with our troops. 25 or 30 years later, they're still doing it every year, is to have a Christmas show to be able to recognize, the men and women of our, of the troops and so forth. And I was on the first one, so I was honored to be out there.
Nice. We're going to wrap it up, Big Kish, with the question that's just burning everyone's minds out there. Everyone wants to know this, and we're going to find out right now. Big Kish, who embodied the American spirit more? Who represented USA, do you think, more in the pro wrestling business? Sergeant Slaughter or Hacksaw Jim Duggan?
Wow, that's a good one. I'd have to go, man. For the old school, I'd have to go with Sergeant Slaughter.
I mean, it's G.I. Joe, man. Come on.
For the youngster, I had to go with Ranger Ross.
Ranger Ross? Is that his...
NWA.
Really?
You remember Ranger Ross, WCW? Back in the day.
No, wow.
Do your homework.
Wow, okay.
Big shout out to Ranger Ross.
Wow.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day.
There was a young black brother out there when we were starting out there as SST. Me and Sammy just came through, and he was just coming through, and he's a shoot. He works for the military. You know what I mean? And he came out there with the whole flag and everything. Very, very athletic. Very athletic. He kind of reminded me of Two Coats Scorpio. How this guy works.
Okay.
And so he was like the Sergeant Slaughter there in WCW back in the day.
See, I knew you had a gem in there. What is his name?
Ranger Ross.
Okay, y'all look that up. Ranger Ross. Man, okay. See,
right.
There it is. I knew you had one up.
Do your homework, man. Do your homework, Jerry. Get your history. You're the
Wow.
man. You're the dictionary of professional wrestling. What's
Yes,
happening?
sir. Well, because of course there's the Patriot. There's Craig Pittman. Corporal Kirshner.
Corporal Kirshner.
Do you have any history with Corporal Kirshner?
No, you know what? I was young when I came through with him. The history is no history.
Okay.
The history is just I'm just seeing him in the locker room with my uncles.
Okay, because David's told me some crazy stories about that guy.
Yeah, but the guy was in good shape. You know what I mean? It's very good. He kind of remind me like of Hacksaw the way,
Yeah.
But as far as charisma, I think Hacksaw beats it all the way.
Bret Hart called him a jobber.
Who? Hacksaw?
No, Corporal Kirshner.
Corporal. Hey. Well, I guess we learn something every day. I don't know what the deal is.
Big Kish?
Brett probably got potatoed by Kirshner.
Probably.
For Brett to be able to say something like that. Shout out to the Oos, Brett.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We will wrap it up. You got any final words there?
Hey, man, I want to thank everybody. Again, tune in next week as we do what we do. Thank my producers out here, as always. Love and respect. And thank you, Joey.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for your time, for being here, for us to be in the news for you on the Rikishi Off the Top podcast. Remember, it's free to be kind to one another and always, always smarten up. And we out.